can have one.
These are compulsory in new built houses unless one doesn't want one, which is something I find completely okay and very interesting. It's the case that there is genuinely an opt-out because it's being introduced by the EU, and it's not there to combat electricity fraud as it was used in Italy, which was done very successfully with intelligent electricity meters and is being used in the US. But here it's the case of here it's about giving the user a genuine and accurate electricity bill so that the users can see that when their usage patterns change, that their bills change, therefore to increase the efficiency of the use of energy within Europe. What would be of great interest to me, and perhaps someone here knows, is that according to my understanding, the most electricity providers are very much in a pilot status. That is to say, if I phone on the 1st of January and say, yep, look, this is what the law says, I'm entitled to one, I need one, I believe I wouldn't get one. There's a question about the topic of intelligent electricity meters, that there's a positive side effect, namely that the few bytes that one can effectively get broadband internet for free, because of the bandwidth used by the intelligent electricity meter, which is far more than it actually uses. However, it's not the case that there is actually a duty imposed upon the electricity companies to introduce broadband over the electricity meters. Rather a 200 megabyte binary, which needs to be updated on occasion. And let us hope that they can do it. It's infrastructure. The old ones lasted for about 30 years, and let's see how long the new ones last. There's a study in the US, which is that they can't update the new intelligent meters. Other lovely examples, like IPv6, wonderful, wonderful technology. What could possibly go wrong? A short update from the European neighbour country. The state electricity provider in France already has some working, many fewer, but they're already functioning and have been for some years. There's a short interruption, a message is being conveyed to the podium. What's interesting about these meters is the different levels of intelligence that they have, which is, so a monthly electricity bill is something good, where you get a bill, an updated bill that's accurate, it doesn't sound bad. And also that you can see your electricity usage live, you can see when the washing machine goes on, when the lights get switched on, etc., etc. And that will, you can see what the HD video projector uses. You know, there's aha experiences. There's something we can see. You can see how much the different appliances use. But the question is how much of that will be held within a cloud, how much data will be retained, and if that's necessarily necessary. Oh, horrible sentence. I'm sorry. So the bearer of hope is the blinken lights quarter of the city. And something else about the interface between environment and data protection is the monitoring of vehicles. And this is something that will kill people, is the simplest thing we can say to the subject. It will kill people. It would only be, the only thing that would have been better would be children will die, would be the, no, little kittens will die, would have been even more successful. But it will kill people, great. And the argument is completely coherent, because when it's introduced, people will go away from the motorways and onto the country roads, which are less secure, and more people will therefore die.
All right, 2010 Adobe Flash, of course, we don't have to say anything about that. Have fun at the device. And then, of course, computerization and all that is moving on, and nothing is standing still. So everyone's thinking about how things can get even faster, or how things can be even better surveilled, monitored. And of course, there are questions such as, well, how could I do fraud detection better than before? And I'm sure there'll be interesting hiccups there. You surely noticed that in Germany they started, I'm not sure how many actually it became, but didn't they start to exchange 60,000 credit cards of people that were in Spain, had been in Spain, because allegedly in Spain some data had been lost, a database. But there's no detail that anyone knows, and after the first banks had started to exchange credit cards or to call back credit cards, everyone was then violently shying away and passing the buck and saying that the whole thing isn't as big, so there must be some kind of fraud detection that took place. And I'm sure there'll be more coming. Other things are completely crazy. High-frequency trading, the way that things get traded on stock exchanges these days, you just cannot imagine your regular shooter player who gets told that your ping is too high, completely disappears in comparison. A new information was that the cable lengths had been limited between trading sites and computers. So if you convert that, it's not about milliseconds, but less than that. Everyone just gets 4 meters now, no matter how far your own server is away from that. And this is crazy, because you then get service providers using that and who plan that everyone should get high-frequency trading by offering a platform on which you can put your own algorithms. That's the way I understood it. And their computers would then run those. So there are videos on YouTube of that. You can have a look, high-frequency trading, and see what crazy things that are there. This is gambling on the highest level. A gambling machine is nothing in comparison, but I'm sure the discussions will be the same. I can beat the system if I do this, and then click, and then I get the joker. I don't know. I think these people should be smoked out. Exactly. Okay, now, new business areas. A favorite area, favorite section. The first one we proposed is the Surveillance Prevention Advisor. Surveillance from the air. Well, actually, we are talking about Google watching you from the streets. We actually mean Google. Surveillance of your social networking sites. We actually mean Google.